Our command wants the fleet resting easy tonight, but I can't. They ran a shiny, everything's fine bulletin across our bridge screens about how the DSS is now secure, followed by some plans for routine deep cleaning in dry dock. It was just a maintenance issue after all. Then what about the knocks, the comms blackout, and the unscheduled jump to Calypso? If you've spent more than 5 minutes alive down in the field, then you know when I command calls something a minor maintenance hiccup. There's something else going on behind the scenes. Follow me for a minute here. We didn't dodge a bullet with the DSS. The Squids might have just been playing 5D space chess this whole time, and we may have just walked straight into their trap. All while our own brass held the door wide open to see their game for what it is. You gotta take a look at the groundwork we prepared for them late last year. Back in November of 2185, during the War on Dissidence, our command broke ground on the Center for the Confinement of Dissidents on Lafayette Bay. Seacard was purpose-built to centralize 15 million citizens for mandatory ideological scrubbing, stripping steel straight out of the ruins of York Supreme to build a mega prison. High Command thought that they were building an iron vault to lock away dissidents for re-education. What they actually built was step one of the Squid's trap. Fast forward 4 months to March of 2186. Across Super-Earth and the outer colonies on CC, a bunch of robe-wearing lunatics, calling themselves the Cult of the Orb, started screaming in the streets about incoming celestial tempests. High Command did what they always do. Labeled the warnings dramatic nonsense, slapped the cuffs on them, and funneled them straight into that fresh pipeline at Seacard. Less than a week later, Category 3 exostorms cracked CSC wide open, fracturing space-time and dragging the entire planet screaming into the void. Those cultists weren't spouting unhinged gibberish. Every single line of their prophecy hit the map. They didn't get taken in because they were sloppy. They let themselves get arrested by Super-Earth so they could smuggle brainwashed infection vectors directly into a holding pen packed with 15 million vulnerable inmates, who may have also very well had a distaste for Super-Earth themselves at this point. Now, look at what happened over the last few days. We're attacking the Void Source planet with DSS support, and honestly, it seems relatively undefended. The Squids appear more interested in bringing more planets into the Void than stopping us from taking the Source back. It'll make sense, just wait. Eventually, the Democracy Space Station limps out of the Void, reporting intensifying structural knocks across the hull. Just localized thermal vibrations, they say. Don't forget those unfounded, unscientific, and wholly undemocratic reports of chemical oxidation anomalies spelling out Calypso. That wasn't a coincidence. Calypso was with the Squid's first breach stop orders. The Illuminate knew exactly which buttons to press. They knew flashing that name would send High Command into an absolute panic spiral. Then, comms go dead and the station warps towards Calypso. Not to it directly. Well, why not directly then? We know that the DSS could warp across the galaxy without issue. It was just another part of the trap. High Command took the bait, hook, line, and sinker. They locked the helm from orbit, initiated an environmental optimization cycle, and flooded every square inch of the station with fire, gas, or who knows what, in order to wipe the entire crew clean off the station. Once the decks were silent, High Command remotely sent the uncrewed superweapon straight into the docks at Lafayette Bay. And to mop up the biological sludge and scrape their own dead off the walls, who did they send aboard? Requisition details composed entirely of dissidents undergoing re-education, marched right out of the cells at Seacard. The deadliest orbital battle station mankind ever engineered is floating over Lafayette Bay without a single loyal diver, sea soldier, or democracy officer standing watch on a bridge. Or at least not enough of them to stop a mutiny. Whatever means facilitated the environmental optimization cycle were most likely completely spent in the purge. After all, why would there be more than one of those cycles prepared? And the personnel, spread across the DSS, holding the maintenance keys, the override switches, and the deck access, are the same re-educated inmates who have spent the last 5 months marinating in psychic alien resonance. They don't need to fly that station back to Super Earth to break us. The Void Warp relay over on Rega Bay is just one jump away, and it's the only physical lifeline keeping our Vanguard fleet tethered to this side of reality. If those work crews seize the manual firing controls and lay a heavy barrage in Rega Bay, the relay shatters, let alone fire the Star of Peace. Dark fluid supplied right from the Squid source. Every super destroyer, every Thief regiment, and every Helldiver fighting down on CSC will be permanently locked inside a void with the singing geometry, as the researchers called it, completely cut off from supply lines, reinforcements, and the light of democracy. And then, that Meridian wormhole, where the first Squid invasion came from, is only one system away from Super Earth, which at that point won't have a standard military to defend it. Right for the picking from the next Squid fleet. Listen for knocks, keep your comms open, and keep a very close eye on the signals coming out of that foyer bay. Because if that battle station turns its nose toward the relay corridor, you better have your jump drive ready. After all that, I hope you can still get some rest for the night. Just like High Command wants. Sprock us out.